All right, guys, so I've made headlight restoration videos in the past, and typically we'll just sand them down and clear coat them. But I got a new product that I wanted to show you. This is ceramic headlight restoration kit from Cerakote. And this, according to Cerakote, is like the last kit that you'll ever need, and we're gonna test it on this 2011 RDX. Basically, the first step that we need to do here is I gotta tape off these headlights, and then we'll open this box and get right into it. All right, so I got the headlights taped up, and I wanted to get you guys an in-close personal view of what these headlights look like currently. Not great, but not the worst I've ever seen. So let's go ahead and open up the box and get into step one. All right, as we open up this box, this is, as you can see, no tools required. I would say the only thing that you really need is tape and a pair of gloves. Open up the box. Basically inside you're gonna have your sanding disc, okay, and it's got a little hand pad deal that you stick your sandpaper on. We'll get into that when the time comes. And then you look at the wipes that are in here. Don't need the box no more. Here is the first step, step one. There are 4 of these oxidation removers. So essentially this is going to help before we sand it to remove any of that oxidation off the surface of the headlight. And then your step 3 is going to be the actual ceramic clear coating. Now this stuff is supposed to be formulated for the polyurethane that makes up these headlights. So I'm pretty excited to see how that goes, but let's go ahead and use step 1, get the oxidation off this, and we'll see what it looks like. So when you bust open one of these little oxidation removers, what you're gonna have is a wipe just like this, all right? This should turn yellow as soon as we start wiping it off of this headlight. Let's see what it looks like. And this is also the reason why we taped up this headlight, because I don't want to get this stuff on the paint. So we protected the paint in that way. We'll see how much oxidation comes off of this light. I'm not going to flip it yet. So we don't have a ton of oxidation. I feel like this headlight isn't necessarily oxidized. It's just that coating is cracked. So I think the sanding is where we're really going to see the benefit here. Yeah, I mean, you could see a little bit, not a ton. Let's go do the other one. First and foremost, we'll wipe this off as well. Make sure we don't get any on the paint. Now it's super duper clean. Let's do the other side. Get you guys in a little bit closer. This one's got a little bit more hazing to it. And keep in mind, guys, that if you have cracks or anything that are inside the headlight lens, this kit, I mean, the outside will be nice and clear, but the inside won't. So this one's getting a little bit more yellow. I feel like there's a little bit more oxidation on this one. But all right, let's wipe that off and we'll move on. And obviously the oxidation wipe will be more dramatic if your headlights actually have like crazy oxidation on them. And these really aren't so bad. So let's go ahead and move on to step 2. All right, step 2 of this whole deal is going to be in this bag. And you're going to have this little Cerakote. It's a hard foam, basically just like an interface hand pad. Oh, it does come with gloves. I didn't even realize that. So it does come with gloves. That's pretty neat. Now this is going to be, I believe, 2,000 grit and 3,000 grit. I got to look at the instructions real quick. All right, so basically how this works, take your sandpaper, set it on there like that, and now we're going to sand that headlight, get all of that little hazing gone. I also need to mention that this is wet sandpaper, so a little spray bottle, get it wet, and just start going to town. You need to have this uniformly sanded so that ceramic clear application sticks really well and everything's even. If you don't sand it enough, you're gonna have lines or you're gonna see where you missed. So make sure this part, you take your time. Let's get that wiped off. All right, now if you look at this headlight, there are still spots that I'm not happy with, so I'm gonna do one more pass until this is nice and even. See how uniform that's looking? All right, now we'll move on to that next grit. Make sure that we get it nice and smoothed out. And then we'll do the other headlight, and I'll show you what it looks like right before we go ahead and ceramic clear these. All right, so I got a little bit more sanding to do, but let me get my sanding done, and then we'll jump right into ceramic clearing these. All right, so now the sanding process is complete. This is just isopropyl alcohol, just cleaning them up, being ready for that coating process. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into that. All right, so the sanding process is complete now. We're just gonna wipe it down with some isopropyl alcohol just to make sure the lens is clean. I'll hit it with some air. You really don't want any water coming out of this headlight, so either compressed air or a leaf blower would work too. Get all of that liquid. All my stuff goes flying. All of that liquid out from around the headlight. All right, so now we're moving on to step 3, home stretch. This is the ceramic clear coating. So we're gonna go ahead and get one of these puppies ripped open just like that. It's one for each side. And I've heard that a nice thin layer is all we're looking for. So we're gonna go slow and steady. I'll get you in here and show you what I'm doing. And notice that no, I do not have the headlight taped up. I'm gonna just be very careful around my edges. I'm gonna start over here and just start slowly wiping. You see that? How satisfying is that? Slowly wiping this across the headlight. Now for all of those guys that were like, oh, I can't just clear coat my headlights at home, I don't have all the equipment. This is a surefire way to get the same results that I get clearing headlights with a super DIY friendly product. This is pretty incredible how good this is looking. And if you get a little bit on the paint, not the end of the world, just make sure you get it wiped off. And they say that this takes an hour to fully cure, so no water, nothing. Best to just leave it sitting in the shop or the garage for an hour. And I've noticed that the slower you go, the nicer the results. I don't want a whole bunch of this building up, so make sure we get the excess wiped off. And it kind of just self-levels. That's pretty incredible. All right, let's go do the other one. And this wipe, I think, is still wet enough to do this whole headlight, so. Oh yeah, there's enough product. So realistically, they give you more than enough. See how satisfying that is? Oh my goodness. Flip it over. You know, I've used everything that Cerakote has to offer as far as like detailing stuff, and I have yet to be disappointed. But I've used their ceramic wipes for like black plastic trim, I mean all of that, and it is all worked exceptionally well. Dude, the results are insane. I know you guys see it on video, but it's not the same as watching it just work, you know? See how there's just a little excess, you just pick it up. This stuff just totally self-levels. But if you have too much of it in one spot, it will kind of run, so make sure to get it all nice and even. All right, guys, we went from this to now this. That looks incredible. That was insanely easy. I mean, they're not kidding. Everything you need is right in the box. Like, we'll see longevity-wise. I mean, I'll update you. This is my buddy's car, so I'll update you as time goes on. and we'll see how this stuff wears. But I mean, that's the same results as clear coating them, and I mean, it was a fraction of the price. You guys can do this at home. So if that's something you're into and you've got foggy headlights, they sell this stuff at Walmart, at AutoZone, I mean everywhere. No tools required, everything you need right in the box. You get results like that. That's pretty incredible.